Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You better believe it. We rewrite the rules. We make up the rules as we go along. How's that sound to you?
That's right.
Here we go. We don't
Our
like,
rules.
We don't like the rules. We just change them. It's not a big deal.
My rules, your never mind. I can't
Now,
even
let's
get
do
it.
that again.
No.
My rules, your rules, our rules. Bingo. It's another Groovy Tuesday, and we're
Right.
gathered together to see if we can make any sense out of what's going on in this wacky world of today. And that end, it would be wonderful to get a little support from y'all. I
Certainly
don't
would.
care if you disagree with us. That's okay. Just call us. If you agree with us, call us. We just want to talk to somebody. You know why? Because we're lonely. We're two lonely souls out here in the early morning hours, and it's a little misty cloud, foggy looking conditions.
And then you're going to be talking next about how many cats we have.
I got one. I got two. How many cats?
I only have one. You talk about lonely older people and how many cats they have.
Oh, that. I got you. Sometimes it helps to just talk it out. 910
Yes.
333-0139. 910-333-0139. Any of you folks out there graduated at Jacksonville High School in 1960, whatever it was, 66? Yep. It's the 60th anniversary this year.
Wow.
And there is a reunion coming up for Saturday. It's
Congratulations.
supposed to be a little, I survived another year. There's a reunion coming up. It's for the class of 66. So if y'all haven't gotten your invite yet, let me know. I'll just invite you myself.
Where's it going to be?
Well, Friday night, I understand. Friday afternoon, they're going to have a gathering first, and I forgot where it is. I won't be there. And then Saturday, the official thing is going to be at Ducks.
Nice.
Ducks, yeah.
What time?
I don't know.
I should come crash it.
We usually have once or
I
seven.
crashed one of yours before.
Did you?
Yeah, y'all were having one at Tideline Marina, and I had not Tideline Marina. Beck's Marina Cafe.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh.
We had a reunion there?
You had something, yeah. It was a long time ago, and I remember I walked in for some other reason and went around, and
That was at the downtown Court
no,
Street
that
reunion.
wasn't a Court Street reunion. This was before
I
that.
don't think I've ever
Y'all
had a
had some kind of
reunion.
class, something there.
I don't know. Have
Might
no
have been a
idea.
few people, but I remember. But no, some of us Jacksonville High School graduates like to crash other people's
Oh,
parties.
yeah, I know. That's okay.
What time is it,
I don't know.
Ducks?
1:00 in the afternoon. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown, and this, for better or worse, is live and local real talk.
And good morning, I'm Lee Barrels. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning.
So far, it is.
So
We
far.
just never can tell. It's day 2 of the 68th Big Rock Blue
Yay.
Marlin Fishing Tournament. Yesterday, not a bad way to kick off the week. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. Got a bunch of stuff going on. Sad news overnight, night before last, or I guess it is early morning hours yesterday.
Yes.
A house fire claimed the life of an elderly man here. It happened just before dawn on Savage Court in Midway Park. Firefighters arrived. The mobile home was fully engulfed. Inside, they found the body of 79-year-old Douglas Hill, apparently a really nice guy. The neighbor said so.
Neighbors were, yes.
They were a little bit distraught. No one else was in the home at the time of the fire. The North Carolina Bureau of Investigation is assisting the Onslow County Sheriff's Office with that investigation. Residents in the community were concerned, of course, that the fire would spread to their homes. When you've got mobile homes in a mobile home park, they're generally relatively close together. And if there's any wind, they burn really fast and really hot.
Yes.
I've been to any number of them. And it can be a major, just sweep right through a whole group of homes if there's any wind at all. So they got very lucky in that respect. There was back in the 70s, there was a mobile home sales lot on 24 at Johnson Boulevard and Marine Boulevard at the intersection there.
I remember.
And one of them caught fire one night. Probably people sleeping inside. Generally, things like that happen at an empty house with no electricity on it. So something happened, and it caught fire, and it spread. It went from one to the other. It was cold, and the wind was a howling. And, it just
terrible.
swept through and burned a bunch of those mobile homes. So anyway, got to be really careful with that kind of stuff.
Growing up, we lived in a trailer. In a
You got to be careful. I lived in one for several years.
We had a trailer about 4 doors down from us catch full engulf.
Oh boy!
Delma Collins.
Really?
And his wife were living in it.
Oh
Yeah.
my!
And
Wow.
it caught fire. I'll never forget that night. It went fast. Phew.
Yeah. But, other news.
Lots of news.
We can put a. It's good. It's bad. The end result was coming, but at least family's going to have closure. The body of a young man, he drowned a week ago, has been recovered. A 24-year-old Marquez Page disappeared after helping rescue his stepdaughter when her inflatable little toy device that she was on was being swept out to sea at the New River Inlet. Page was caught in the current after handing his daughter over to others on shore. That water there at the inlet, I pulled up there when I had a little 17-foot boat. It's a Henry O little boat. I pulled up with my bow on the shore, beached it, in other words, at that inlet, intentionally. But at the stern of the boat, 17 feet from the bow, is where the transducer is for the depth finder. The water was 30 feet deep. So within 17 feet, it went from 0 to 30 feet.
Well, it's that access for boats to go through right there, too.
That's what it's there for.
Yes.
And the current is really strong.
It is.
At all hours of the day or night, except twice a day for 15 minutes. That's what they call an ebb current. That's when it changes from tide coming in to the current coming in to the current going out. And that's all the time you've got there.
I have never swam there.
It's really difficult to do that.
Difficult, yes.
Anyway, his body was found yesterday morning. A boater saw a body in the water near Canal Drive in Sneed's Ferry. A medical examiner will determine if the body is Page. There's no doubt.
Yeah, we were just talking about that yesterday, how we hoped that he would be found to give closure to the family.
Yeah, of course, the biggest concern was that he would have been swept out to sea.
Yes.
And, of course, the ocean's very large. If he's inside and when it comes up and it came up and he continued to float, obviously, you can go right by a body like that and not see it. So you have to be pretty close generally.
I can't imagine being out there on a boat or out there in the water and a body floats up.
Oh,
Ooh, I would so freak out.
a manhunt is underway here in Onslow County. Y'all lock your doors and don't answer it for anyone that you don't know. And if you know this one man, don't answer then either. The manhunt's looking for a convicted felon that deputies say shot at them. About 9 o'clock last night, I think it was.
Yes.
43-year-old Jared McKay has served time in Central Prison for possession with the intent to sell,
Go figure.
driving while impaired, manufacturing methamphetamine, and speeding to elude law enforcement officers. No one was hurt last night, thank God. Not sure exactly what led up to the shooting incident. Residents in the area of Burrell Highway, Pony Farm Road, and Blue Creek Road are told to keep their doors locked and to call 911 if they see Mackey. Mackey's pictures up there on WITM.
Yes.
They're running that. He's considered armed and dangerous.
Can I say something to that? You're talking about being careful and locking your doors.
Uh-huh.
This morning, as I was leaving the neighborhood very early this morning, I saw a woman by herself out jogging. I'm just like, anything can happen at any time. But ladies, you're out there by yourself at 6:00 in the morning.
Snatch, vans,
You know,
anything.
please be alert.
Well,
Watch your surroundings.
yeah, and
I hope you've got a can of mace or something on you,
or something.
or something.
Now, ladies, guys, it doesn't matter. Ladies are more susceptible,
Yes.
but don't just get out there. Go in pairs. Find a neighbor or a relative or somebody who wants to jog with you or walk with you. That's kind of like the witching hour at times, that pre-dawn stuff.
Yes.
It's not daylight yet, or right
right.
after daylight. Just be ever so careful. Be aware of your surroundings and always have an escape plan. If there's somebody that stops, run towards the nearest house. They don't like that.
Start screaming.
And yeah,
Whatever it takes.
some people will pull up and they may have legitimate questions like, do you know where? No, not time of morning. No, you don't know nothing.
Right.
And don't motorists don't pull up to anybody like that.
Scare them, right? Yeah, I just, because I had just caught up on that story that started last night.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went out this morning, I checked all my surroundings and everything was quiet, and got into my vehicle. And then as I was leaving, I went down one street. I looked, and there is a young female that's wearing her running shorts and tank top and running by herself. And I'm thinking, is that safe? I mean, kudos to her for getting out and running. That's great, but sometimes you need to think, you need to have a plan.
You need to
And
have,
I hope she did.
Yeah, you need
I hope
to
she
have
does.
an escape plan. Right?
Yes.
That's the bottom line. So be ever so careful out there, please.
Please be
We
careful.
don't have to read about you and
Mm-mm.
worry about you. So just get someone else. And your phones are great, but it takes a long time to dial 911, and your chances are you're not wearing a lot of clothing that's going to support you.
Pockets and
You're going to lose your phone.
Yeah,
So
your phone and
it's
whatever
gonna,
else
it's
you
going
may
to
be
drop
carrying.
or fall or
Right.
break or do something, whatever.
Yes, just be alert.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do a little bit of Big Rock before we get back to some other news here.
Sure.
The Big Rock,
How
68th
does it-
annual Big Rock Blue Marlin Tournament. A must-see TV viewing yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So give
when
us
they-
a report, because I know they caught a couple of fish.
when they first started yesterday, well, they had one boat radio in, the Savannah Lee, which is a 65-foot Viking, that they had had a blue marlin on the hook, and then called in and said they had boated it. And so they were coming in a little bit early because going to go ahead and come in and weigh their fish. I will tell you that they were having a lot of issues with the feed yesterday, but we got to see the Savannah Lee unload the marlin, and it came in at 439.2 pounds.
Wasn't the only blue yesterday.
No, and then we had a report of another boat calling in, the Free Ranger, which is a 46-foot Buddy Kennedy. And it brought in, it was almost at like 10 minutes to 7 last night when they got in with it. And it was 436.2. So it was 3 pounds less. So the Savannah Lee right now, currently, no, this is only day one, currently is in first place. And that fish right now is currently worth $5.6 million. They still haven't brought in, no one's brought in yet. It's only day one. The 500-pounder, which would win
That's
the
gonna be some
fabulous
extra
fisherman
more.
prize, which is extra money. I think, $853,000, I think they said it was.
Probably.
And then by yesterday afternoon, there was, when I saw other reports, they showed only 211 fishing yesterday. It's been so erratic with the number of boats, who is and who isn't. We don't show any reports for this morning yet, but I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of them out there.
They had one boat, wall hanger, has scored 800 points for releasing a billfish.
Yes.
Yesterday, let's see if we got some.
They had a lot of releases yesterday.
Wall hanger, floor reel, Wolverine,
Pulled hooks.
They all cut and they caught them and they got
Right.
points for catching them and cutting them loose. The Diamond Girl, they were all got 800 points. I'm not sure what the difference
They
is.
had the first marlin release.
There were
of
three.
the morning.
There were three of them.
Where they had the first one.
three of them had
Right.
marlin of this that all got 800 points. Diamond Girl, Marsh Madness, and they got 650 points. Annie, the Bill Fisher, he's been there in that tournament a lot. Marlin Fever, Sales Pitch, Waste Knot.
I love that.
I do too. They got 525 points. Taylor Jean, 500 points. Them boys, Widespread, Beagle, First Look, Sea Creature, Remix Main Stage, and Sea Phase, Lights Out. I like that one. Hogfin Reaper, Shenandoah. Wow. Contingency. Okay, real quick. Wishmere, High Time, Line Said, Big B, the General Triple Doc. They all got 400 points. Barbara B released. Blue Bill, Peggy, Bank Walker. Peggy, they all got 250 points. Bank Walker, Gaucho, Marlin Gull, Bow Movement. Bow, P-O-W movement.
Yeah.
Bullpen, On Point, C Student, C Sue, and a boat named Release, Rosham, Bow, Real Lineman, C Escape, Old Number 7, High Octane, Dancing Outlaw, Sea
I like
Striker,
the dancing outlaw.
Macabre, Piracy, Redemption.
I like right now they're showing.
Thin Planner 2 and Honky Tonk got 125 points.
I guess I got an extra boat registered yesterday because it went from 277 to 278 now in registered boats. And right now the Big Rock page, excuse me, is showing 227 boats fishing today.
Okay.
Right now they're showing that, but it's subject to change.
Okay, you must take at least 2 lay days. You don't have to fish all 6 days. Well, you can't fish all 6
right.
days, but of the 4 days that you can fish, you do not have to fish all of those. You catch a 1,000-pounder on today, you don't have to fish anymore. Why waste the gas, right?
Right.
Unless you just want to. I'd go out there and just fish for some food, but that would be me. Anyway, that's what's going on.
Do you know now if you want to get a personalized, you can get a Big Rock license plate now?
Can you?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm not paying the extra money every year.
I don't need one. I got my own license plate.
Yes, you do.
Anyway, that's what's going on out there. And let's see here.
Yeah. Day 2 kicks off, lines in the water, 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to the Big Rock tournament page and you can go to the web. You can go to Facebook. They have a link there where you can click on to listen to the radio traffic.
Yep.
Yesterday it was somebody had a keyed mic for 40 minutes to an hour. It was loud music and a lot of words. And Randy, the Captain Randy there, he had a lot to say.
Well,
it was irritating.
Yeah, well,
It happens.
They probably need to cut their feed to all the sources. All resources need to just cut it and let him stay in charge until they find out who the culprit is. And I'm sure that somebody out there was close enough to this boat that was keying up the mic or had the mic keyed. That sounds like if it was that long, that had to be something very intentional. And it may not have been anybody in the Big Rock. You understand?
Could have been somebody's. Yeah, it very well could have been.
This morning we've been listening to other ships out there that are foreign vessels that are coming in and out of the port of Moorhead, and we can hear those vessels also bleeding into the Big Rock, the channel that the Big Rock's using. I'm not going to tell you which channel it is. That you can go look around for it. It's probably publicized.
I will tell you there was a 53-pound dolphin brought in yesterday.
That's a nice big
it
old
was
dolphin.
Beautiful.
Big old dolphin.
Some big wahoos brought in too.
The prize pool now is up to $9,038,225. They're going to split up amongst all of the winners out there. That's some of the traffic that they're listening to this morning. Did you hear that?
Yeah, there's a
Wish I understood it so I could respond to it. Okie dokie, let's do a little bit of weather. The marine forecast for the next couple of days is calling for improving boating conditions. That's always a good thing. We'll see the development of a southerly flow mid to late week, probably beginning tomorrow, as high pressure shifts offshore. Today, up to 60 nautical miles. Easterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 3 to 5 feet. Wednesday, tomorrow, southwesterly winds 5 to 10, seas 3 to 4. Thursday, southwesterly winds 15 to 20, seas 3 to 4. And if I were you boaters, the small ones out there, because you have no clue what the days after that are going to bring, I definitely would be fishing tomorrow and Thursday.
I just keep on fishing.
Thursday and Wednesday and Thursday, you've got smaller seas, and your 30-footers and even 25, 30-footers should have no trouble with that. Just be careful.
Today, partly sunny with a high near 87, light and variable wind becoming southeast 5 to 7 in the afternoon. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 69. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 89. And Thursday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny with a high near 94. Hoo-wee!
Well,
And I will tell you, Rayford, I watched the boats come in yesterday for hours. I am so impressed with some of those big boats, how they just rip around and back up at record speed and just stop slight of the dock. It's so impressive watching.
folks, if you've got a boat and you're new to boating, don't try this at home. Not
No,
on your
don't do
first
that.
day out there. It's going to result in a real serious,
Yes.
you ain't gonna like it day.
Yes.
Well, speaking of which, Jacksonville's, you
Fish.
still have to call him the newbie.
Yes.
Jacksonville Police Chief
So
has been
disappointing.
offered a position as the chief of the Boca Raton, Florida Police Department.
Uh-huh.
He's accepted the offer. Of course, it depends upon a few things, but he's
Right.
accepted the offer. Chief Jared Phelps took over in Jacksonville just 2 years ago. I remember the day he took when he
Yes,
was
I
sworn in.
remember.
I was
I
there.
remember.
I was there that morning, and he had his daughter pin the badge on him, and he just jumped and he said, "Ow!"
Right.
And just to scare her. So anyway, it was. I thought he was going to be a pretty cool guy then, and he is. He's a nice dude.
Very nice.
Chief, he replaced longtime Chief Mike Yanero, who retired, then was elected to the city council 6 months ago.
Yay.
Phelps will pick up a significant pay increase starting $225,000. His current salary is $158,000. So in case y'all wondering why this man is leaving, it's for what, $80,000 a year?
That's a lot more.
Would you leave for that? It would have to be a really poop hole for me not to do that. And
Right.
Boca Raton is not. So we're gonna miss him. I can tell you that. But
No, it's a shame.
Chief Phelps was chosen from a field of 77 applicants. They had narrowed that field to between the Chief Phelps, and a police chief from somewhere in Maryland. I forgot where, Ocean City or somewhere like that. But anyway,
I don't remember.
Chief Phelps went out. A formality, no doubt, but Phelps will have to complete the pre-employment process in Florida. This is what they call a tentative offer.
Right.
You got it as long as everything comes out on your pre-employment process. That will mean full background check, of which they've already done by now, I'm sure. A start date has not been announced. Once it's official, the city of Jacksonville will again be in need of a new chief. So if y'all got the credentials and you want to be considered, you might want to prepare or dust off your resume.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are probably some strong leaders already at Jacksonville.
Yeah, there
Police
are
Department
qualified
that
police officers
very
in the
qualified,
department.
so,
There's no doubt about it.
Maybe we'll see what
Who could
happens.
fit the bill? Pretty
Right.
sure the city will include a nationwide search for
Right.
the best qualified replacement they can find.
I think the former chief needs to come out of retirement. Is what I
Who would
think.
have to quit city council.
So
So he doesn't
He'll
want to
make a lot more money.
But he's already making a lot of money.
Yeah,
He's
not the
got
city
it.
council.
He's got his retirement.
I know. I should have never left, Chief.
Oh,
Look what's happened. City's falling apart.
well, he's trying to take care of that.
I know.
Now,
He's
in
a
the
great city councilman. Yes.
The city was not falling apart under him and the police department, or nor is it now.
I know. I'm
Under the
just
police department.
I'm just polishing his shoes
But
here.
everything else around the city is so he's.
Is
there.
it crazy or what?
Yes,
What's
it
going?
is.
And you know what? That brings to mind. I have to bring this up real
God.
quick.
Here we go.
All right. News media outlets last week posted a story about the former county commissioner, David Smitherman, suing.
No.
What?
County manager,
What did I say?
commissioner.
Good Lord, I've just like
Yeah, you and me
these
both.
early mornings.
I got the headache and the jaw ache and everything
County
else.
manager, thank you for correcting me. Thank you. County manager or former that was let go.
He was fired
He was fired,
in March.
and he is now suing the county.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were some reasons listed. And of course, once again, we got our keyboard warriors jumping on social media saying the county commissioners are crooks and the vice chairman covered a child rape and blah, 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 blah. You guys, first of all, if you think any of these commissioners were guilty of any of the stuff that some of these people are spouting online and what the news media repeated that Smitherman said in his lawsuit, don't you know the county would go ahead and settle out of court? And there's two sides to every story. And Mr. Smitherman, I'm sure, is reaching out because he wants to do what he can to win his case.
He wants $900,000.
Yes.
Let's get it straight. And he's already willing to settle for less than
Right.
that. I can tell you that. He's willing to settle for a lot less than that, but county's not going to settle.
No, they're not going to settle. They're saying, come on, let's go.
If they're that sure of this and not going to settle, here's what's going to occur. Going to go to court.
Right.
Here's what's going to happen in court.
And
All of the dirt.
Smitherman's suit has been put out there. It's online. You can read it. He's made accusations. That does not mean the accusations are true. Let's wait because
Here's the thing. When you file a suit,
ridiculous.
you can say pretty much anything you want. And when you open that door in a suit, everything that you've ever done comes out.
Absolutely.
And he was here before.
That's right.
Now, this is my opinion, of course. The commissioner screwed up by hiring him again when they knew what they didn't like him the first time. Okay. They didn't like him the first go round.
I can't speak to that only other
So why did
than
they hire
I was
him
surprised when they hired him
the second
again.
time? Yeah.
But I'm not on the inside. I'm
Oh.
not them. I
No,
don't know
I know.
exactly what's going on. But
I don't think there's not even one of them up there that would admit that they wish they had not hired him.
there were so many comments being made, and this is a situation where let's just wait, let it go to court, let it all pan out.
Let's find out where the rubber meets the road.
That's
and
right.
When the stuff hits the fan.
We don't know,
We're waiting for
you
a
know.
call from our congressman. He should
Yes,
be
we are.
checking in with us in a few minutes here.
We need to ask him about United Healthcare. I understand he's got a lot to say about that.
Yeah,
So
there's some things. There's lots going on in the insurance industry
It's horrible.
involving medical care
Mhm.
and how this involves the government. I'm curious, but how it involves the government when Medicare is concerned, I'm really curious because I got Medicare too, and I've already had one deal with how my insurance plan is dealing with the Medicare stuff out there. So I'm a little bit concerned about that because I've lost a hospital I used to go to.
all right, well, we definitely need to ask the congressman about United Healthcare.
Well, United Healthcare is at the top of the list because a whole bunch of people in this neck of the woods, they got United Healthcare. I can
That's
tell you
right.
that. Speaking of, Representative Dr. Greg Murphy. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, good morning. How
Good
are you guys
morning.
today?
Good morning.
We're hanging in here. How are things in Washington besides, oh, hell, let me get out of here?
Now, there is a lot going on. We're doing the FISA reauthorization, which is the foreign surveillance. We're trying to do reconciliation to Air Customs and Border Patrol. We're trying to keep the just the insanity of the left. They're wanting to basically do everything that they can to disrupt the agenda of everything. It's just it is a lot of balls in the air, and then plus we have baseball tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
There you go. Oh, my. Before we get into the United Healthcare stuff, my analysis, I keep hearing these people talk about folks who are so pro Donald Trump that they have Trump derangement syndrome. When as a guy who doesn't have a party and no home to play in, I'm sitting back looking at both sides here, and I say, I'm looking at the left who tells everybody that the right has Trump derangement syndrome, and I'm looking at these same people doing exactly the same thing that the extreme right's doing, except they're on the extreme left. I'm like, who's got Trump derangement syndrome here?
Well, there is without a doubt Trump derangement syndrome. I was on Fox this past weekend, and I said, and I believe this, there are people literally that care more about him being defeated than the country winning. I really believe that. Now, I don't think that's the vast majority of Democrats. I don't believe that.
No, I don't
either.
either.
There are literally that are that deranged.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy, crazy world. We're dealing with so many different things in the air at one time. And, we can talk about Iran.
Oh, God.
It's a horrible thing, but if we do not do this, we do not stop then, our world will never be safe again. And it's just a little remembrance because generations as time fades, World War II seems to be more of a distant memory than it ever should be. But if it were not, and I said this on the news, and I keep saying this, if it were not for the people, the good people, the hard people of Britain during the Battle of Britain, the world would be much different with Nazism today. So yeah, it is an inconvenience. It is a hardship about the gas prices and everything, but this has to be done.
I think that, it is going to have to be done, and it's just going to have to be a regime. It doesn't have to be the people. It's not do genocide. We don't need to kill everybody there, but we do need to remove the regime. And it's not that we're in there for regime change. We're in there for regime elimination. Let them make the changes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a theology that is antithetical to world peace. Let's just put it that way. These are not your, quote, moderate Muslims.
Nope.
These are your radical, kill any Christian, kill anybody who does not believe in their form of theology. So, sorry. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and this is what we have to do.
I think maybe probably the majority of the people in this country won't sit up there and say that, but they will cheer it when it happens. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. United Healthcare and other health organizations and the health insurance industry in general, United Healthcare, what in the world is going on there?
So United Healthcare, which I think is very well known, I think they're the worst actor in health insurance. And I have a new slide I'm going to put up to talk about their profits and how they spend, billions of dollars buying back their stock because they have so much money to buy back their stock, to increase their stock price, to pay their executives more. But what they did at ECU Health is they didn't increase their reimbursement for a decade. And then when it comes back for contract negotiations, they come in and say, instead of increasing it, which, medical inflation is 2 and 3 times what regular inflation is. Instead of increasing it, they say, hey, we want to cut you some more. Well, their ECU leadership said, we can't do this. We can't survive with this. We run one of the poorest regions in the country at ECU Health. And when I say ECU Health, really mean more Eastern North Carolina. And you can't survive on nothing. You can't keep the doors open. And so they said, no, we can't do this. So right now, finally, and I've been working with CMS, I've been working with the Trump administration, I've been working with the leadership at ECU Health to give them a waiver to say now they have a special enrollment period for patients who have had United Health. They can switch insurance plans that are in network with their ECU providers. And so, I know Carolina East is doing some, issues different. with Blue Cross Blue Shield and with United Health.
Right.
But these insurance companies that are just stealing profit to take away from paying for patient care, I'm sorry, I'm at the point where we need to eliminate for-profit insurance companies.
Oh, wow. Well, that would be a big move.
Yep, it's very anti-capitalistic, but it's at this point where this is what needs to happen. So,
I agree.
Well, I'm trying to figure out some way I can disagree with you, and so give me a little while.
There is no disagreement.
Don't worry, you can just jump along with all the other people.
No. I'm just trying to think of a way that I can disagree with you, but it'll take me a while, I think, because what you're saying makes way too much sense. I don't want to pay more in medical bills. I don't want to have to pay more for that. But you know what? At the same time, my insurance companies, you're right. They're run by, and we've got the same thing in a lot of industry, including the broadcast industry, by the way. But they're all they're looking at is the bottom line, and they're making money for people who are not involved in the industry itself. These are people, just investors. Well, it's
and there's not anything wrong with that.
No,
it's just gotten to the point where they're pushing so much profit, and I can go off on United because I'm sorry, they move all things around in different companies, and it is just an absolute scam. I think all their C-suite people need to face charges of fraud and everything else, but that's a whole different issue.
Wow.
But there are a lot of reasons that healthcare costs a lot today, and that's one of them. The other thing is we're getting older, and it costs more to get older.
Yes.
A lot of these wonderful treatments are, and those things cost money.
And we get less money to do it, to get older.
Yeah. So it's we people talk about healthcare over in England or the Medicare for all, which is people who say this have no idea what they're talking about.
No, they don't.
Or the British healthcare, the Swedish healthcare system. Those things severely restrict your access to medications and to treatment. So don't think that everything is just wonderful over there. We also have a much different population than they do. A much more heterogeneous population. And certain parts of our populations have higher risks of genetic diseases. Mm-hmm. And so we do the best with what we have. It is a very imperfect system, but there's a lot of challenges that go with it.
You know, I'm not sure. I had some friends, a couple that was visiting here. They were friends because they were friends of another couple that we know, and we used to go to dinner with them every time they came over from England. And she had a heart attack while she was here. Had a heart attack.
Wow.
So she ended up. She was staying near Carteret, then went from Carteret over to Carolina East, but she was treated, fixed her up, and required surgery. Fixed her up. I don't know exactly. I can't remember. Is it one of a couple of stents or whatever? That took care of her. And she said she has never, and her husband said she would have been dead in England waiting for somebody to say it's okay. And they would try a couple of things that were cheap, the quick fix. Here, 2 aspirin, take them and call me in the morning if you're still alive. That's the way he put it.
Well, interesting. We had a lunch with the Prime Minister of Ireland, the President, the Speaker of the House, and everybody was there on St. Patrick's Day. I was sitting there about my pituitary tumor, and I said, "Tell me, what if I had found this out? How long would it have taken me to get treatment?" And frankly, just kind of lowered his head a little bit, acknowledging the challenges of their system. And he said it probably would have been 18 months.
Yeah.
If that were the case in 18 months, I would be permanently blind today. Yeah. I would be permanently blind. Yeah. I would have no peripheral vision. And I may very well not have survived because of the hormonal, replacement stuff that I have to take. So, and I actually was over in England and Ireland about 2.5 months ago with a congressional delegation. And one of the colleagues had a bad skin infection. It took us 4 days in 3 hospitals, and it finally took me showing my ass, frankly, to get him the treatment that he needed. Yeah. So I finally just said, enough is enough. We're not doing this anymore. We need to get him treated. So, real challenge.
Yeah. Just get out of the way, y'all. Just give me let me scrub in here. Y'all get out of the way. I can hear you saying
try
that.
not to be the obnoxious, American, and I just tried to listen and say. So finally, I had enough. 3 hospitals in 4 days.
Sometimes it's tough.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Murphy, good morning. I have a listener that has asked a question, and he wants to know if you're involved in the legislation going through Congress regarding college athletics in the NCAA. A Texas Tech University quarterback was granted a 7th year of eligibility after placing bets for over $90,000 while currently playing and betting on his own team.
I'm not involved in that, but this is where I think the NCAA has failed in its mission. There's absolutely, in my opinion, no way that this individual, and I don't know all the specifics of that case, so I better not talk about that specifically. But it's gotten way out of hand. And it's interesting. I had this discussion with the president of the UNC system, who I will have nameless, about a decade ago, about things that were occurring, the whole NIL thing, et cetera, And he was like, "Oh, no, it's great. We're going to have freedom for the students and everything." And I basically said, "Tom, well, I'm sorry. You're not thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead. It's absolute chaos now, where these kids are now jumping from school to school, and they're not graduating. And even more importantly, if you're a scrub on the basketball team or the football team, but you stuck with a program, with a school for 4 years, you're going to have a very loyal alumni base. So you may not be making one of the 0.000% of people that make it in the pros, but you're going to have a family that you have shown devotion to that is going to welcome you in for employment, for a future, and none of this is going to occur. So it's really, sadly enough, a few kids are going to make some money. Most of that gets taken away by taxes and the agents. People don't forget about the agents coming in and scooping up their money. And it's a real travesty. And until there is reform put into this system, it is the wild, wild west. Now, we've had a couple of Republicans, one member from Texas who loves to complain and just fight just for the sake of complaining and fighting, that have caused some problems with us getting good legislation passed by this. Some people, of course, are saying it's a racial thing, which has nothing to do with race. And so it is hard, but we need to reform this system because the NCAA sure isn't going to do it themselves.
Well,
thank you.
Somebody's got to get it done. I don't know. What have we got coming up this week?
Well, we're going to have a reconciliation vote. I think that may be today. That's what's on the calendar to fund Border Patrol, to fund ICE, maybe even a few other things so the Democrats don't hold us hostage in October, November. And 5 those talking about that's probably going to be towards the end of the week. There's, of course, they're bringing another war power back. The Democrats are, and you have the Rashid Tlaibs and the Ilhan Omars who hate this country. I don't even know why they're here. And then some anti-fraud bills. Today I have a meeting with, we have something called House Administration. We have a committee meeting on Act Blue, which is the fundraising arm of the Democratic Party, on how they have basically allowed foreign donations in because they didn't, this kind of reminds me of Minnesota, they weren't being a watchdog of their own finances. So there's a lot going on this week, but as I said, there's also a big charity game tomorrow night in that stadium. 40,000 tickets. 40,000 tickets.
Really?
And we've raised over $3 million for pediatric charities in the area. Great. And it's going to be great. I have to say I'm going to be a little bit happy when it's over because we are always at practice at 4 to 5 in the morning since March the 1st. And so all of us old farts are going to be glad that we can maybe sleep to 6 o'clock, not have to get up so early and then have really long days. But it's really, really a great thing. We packed that stadium, and it is a lot of fun for a really, really good cause.
What position are you playing?
Well, I play second base.
Oh, wow.
You used to be first base, didn't you?
Didn't he advance to second?
I'm too short for first base. But in high school, I was a catcher. I played shortstop and second base.
Oh, wow.
But it's a lot of fun. I'm the oldest guy on the team.
No.
So, but I still got the grit to, sit there. Part of that, we had a scrimmage the other night, and man, I went 4 for 4. That was the first time I've done that since high school. It's amazing when you get rid of a tumor that's blocking your vision, the fact that you can actually see a baseball.
Isn't that something? Well, we'll be watching.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be good.
It'll be on Fox at 7 o'clock.
That'd be a game worth watching. I will have to make that must-see tomorrow night. So.
It's a lot of fun. We have some really good players. I mean, it's pretty nice.
All right, this is a special week for a whole lot of folks out there. I'm going to give you a quote, and you tell me why it's important. We shall fight on the beaches. I know this man who said it's a favorite of yours.
Yeah. With D-Day passing. I met a veteran a couple weeks ago who was 100, I think he was 104.
Yeah.
He was at the Marine. It was the ceremony, and I'm blanking on a few weeks ago. But talk about our greatest generation. I wish these young kids today would just have some glimpse of understanding of what went through on those people, the young men that died, that they'd have the freedom today, especially these ones that kneel when they play the national anthem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There are problems with the country, but you have no clue when you want to just play victim all the time. And that's what's happening. It's become a victim mentality. I'm a victim about this. I'm a victim about that. That's not how I made America strong, and that's not how this nation survives. Not by playing the victim card.
Mm. Well, it is.
I've been on Normandy. I've been on the beaches. Yeah. I actually have some sand. I'm in my office in Washington, D.C. right now. I'm looking at a bottle of sand from Omaha Beach.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what those young men did.
Oh, God, yes, yeah.
And what they faced.
And what the families back home face, too, because my grandparents had 6 boys. 5 of those, one could not join because he was 13, but 5 of them were in countries other than this one during most of World War II, including my dad. So, yeah, that it was a special generation.
My father served on a ship. He was a surgeon in the Navy, served on a ship called the Sullivan. And the Sullivans was named after the 5 Sullivan brothers, all of whom were killed in one sinking, which was the whole backstory for Saving Private Ryan.
Right.
Wow. I'm literally looking at my father's naval cap. I have it in my one of my bookcases here in my office in D.C. But a real remembrance of the suffering and the sacrifice that was made for our freedom.
Yeah. Others do not know, they do not understand, and I don't think they ever will, to be honest with you. Sorry, I'm just, sometimes I want to surrender with them.
Congressman Murphy, are you going to be in D.C. next week when Major Capers receives his Medal of Honor?
Unfortunately not. It is a district week next week, and I met with him a few weeks ago, and I apologize I was not going to be there, but we had a nice chat. I gave him a congressional medal, one of my challenge coins, and we exchanged those. He's actually keeping one for me that has Medal of Honor recipient on it, but he's going to be up here. It's a long overdue honor for a true hero. We're going to meet again at a later date, unfortunately, just the way the schedules are. For some reason, the White House does not schedule things according to my schedule, which is
unreasonable.
You need to have a chat with the man, So.
Yeah, he tends to kind of do things the way he wants to do things.
Yeah, I've noticed. Doctor, we do appreciate your time, sir. So I guess since I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Advantage plan, and I can't go to Carolina East after July, I guess I'm going to have to come see you up there. So y'all need to reserve a spot for me, because the last time I tried to go, they said they did not have a bed.
Well, the whole Medicare Advantage system, which was a Republican system, I think came out with a good idea. But as usual, when you let some insurance companies get hold of things where they can put profit above patients, they they have ruined what was a good system. And hopefully maybe we can get back to where it was before. Oz is working on that. Chris Quanfer over at CMS trying to reform things. But until these insurance companies stop putting profits above patients, we're having a problem. Same thing with, a lot of the C-suites in a lot of different places. It can't all be about money. When you're in the healthcare industry, and this is where I get so upset when some of these CEOs are making just ridiculous amounts of money. Yeah. And they say, oh, well, they could be recruited away by another institution. My response is, let them go. There's the door. I'm sorry. People are not. You look at all the CEOs of all the major companies that bounce around with one or another. Sorry, these people are not rocket scientists. They are easily interchangeable.
I'm sorry.
And it is, especially in healthcare, when we should be worrying about the patient first. It is absolutely ridiculous that these people make so much money, and then the number one cause of bankruptcy is our healthcare expenditures. Sorry, there has to be a little bit of honor in the system.
Have you met a CEO that did all the work or did even 10% of the work that they are accused of doing?
Well, I do think there are good actors out there. I think there are good actors. We have some examples here in North Carolina, some recent bad activity of raises given to CEOs and healthcare institutions that I have a major problem with. And it's all, well, you'll get recruited away. Well, there's the door. There's the door.
Somebody waiting to take your place.
I just don't believe anybody is that worth that much money, that they have such a corner on the market of their brilliance, that they should be, that's all different with me. And I sound like more of a communist with that, which is far from it. But I just think there's also an honor in what we do, and integrity, and it shows lack of integrity in making that much money. So.
Doctor, thank you for your time this morning, and good luck in Washington and Duck.
Great. All right, thanks, guys.
Well, the way things are happening in Washington, you never know who's after you.
Have a great game.
Yeah, be careful out there.
All right, take care.
Bye. I will tell you, I'll go ahead and announce this, July 18th at the Osprey game here in Jacksonville. Dr. Murphy is scheduled to throw out the first pitch.
There would be a lot of our elected folks from around the region and across the country. They probably wouldn't know how to get one all the way to home plate all by themselves. Knowing Dr. Murphy and his history with baseball, I don't think he's one of those problem children.
Now, he didn't play last year because of his medical.
He had a little issue, but
the years prior to that, I watched the congressional. Well, I watch them all, but and watched him play. Now, he's quick. He's quick now. 4 for 4 though. Wow, that's good. It's pretty good. Watch out.
Good start out there.
And the Republicans have a history of winning that. So, and last year they won it 31-11.
That's because they like to hit people with bats. That's all. They're hard-headed individuals.
Oh my goodness!
Anything new happening that I haven't looked at in the last 20 minutes? Bunch of stuff here.
Not that I can think of. I was just checking mine because I kept getting dings, breaking news, but nothing here for us. So we're good.
We got nothing new on the hooker lady. She's still missing.
Well, the Coast Guard has called off search.
They
were out there for about 2-3 days searching the waters with sonar and all sorts of stuff. And they have a dog too, and that dog can smell down to 30 feet from the surface of the water.
Here's the thing about what they did. Okay, now you could say that when it comes to no, she was not put overboard on an anchor like some people will be claiming. They drop an anchor. No, they've eliminated that as a possibility. So they don't have to consider that anymore. She was a victim, obviously, of something, whether it's an accident or not. Which this goes to his benefit here, because if she had been put there on an anchor, the anchor or whatever would have been there, right?
Well, a lot of the reason why the anchor story come up is because there was 2 anchors on the Soulmate boat. There was only one when they confiscated the boat. So there was a question, where's the other anchor?
I've had 3 on mine. I don't know how many are there right now.
There's also a question as to One of the dive tanks was missing. There's also a question about her weight belt that she used for diving was missing. So it's just a lot of little stuff. I'm sure the Coast Guard has all the necessary information, but they're not going to share.
See, all of that would tend to show that if that's what they were looking for, that they did not find evidence to support any of those claims that he threw her over and anchored her on the bottom. So that goes to his benefit. But now, what happened?
Well,
That's the story. That's the question.
well, there is a homicide investigation going on,
Uh-huh.
and the Coast Guard does have a lot of things that's being said, but they're not putting it out there. It's just going to have to play out because he did it. He's guilty.
No,
he's going down. Yes, he is.
No,
Tick tock, tick tock.
Here's
He's
you
going
want
down.
to know the real story?
Yeah, go ahead, Mister. Tell it.
Well, here, give us some serious consideration now before
Right.
you eliminate it. That's what first thing you have to do. That's what the police have to do. They have to eliminate the
Oh, I know,
possibilities. Here's a
I know.
possibility. This was a plot on their part. She made it ashore, or she had some other else body there waiting for her, and they've gone to another location and they're waiting it out. They're just waiting. After a period of time, after she's declared dead, he will collect the insurance and he will join her.
I don't believe that because there was
Why
too
not?
much domestic violence between this in this
and
relationship.
that was a
and-
setup for several years. That was. I mean, they set this whole thing up.
You lay awake at night dreaming of stories.
Probably a snake bit her.
I'm telling you, he did it.
A snake,
TikTok, Brian
a
Hooker.
snake bit her, and
TikTok.
He probably put a snake in her bunk. What do you think?
TikTok, keep going down. It's going to catch up. And they do not have to have a body if they've got strong enough evidence to prove otherwise. You know, he had cameras on that big boat, a soulmate. You don't know what they might have. You don't
If they had
know.
cameras on there, and they find any evidence on those cameras, then he's stupid.
Exactly.
So,
But you've got GPS watches, you've got
Well,
your cell phones, you've got
wow.
all sorts of stuff. So
GPS does not work underwater.
he
if you
wasn't
remember-
underwater. He was on top of water.
Well,
He
she
knocked
was.
her out of the boat.
She was.
My personal opinion is they made it back to the sailboat, and something occurred there. He choked her to death. Then he taped her all up with weights, and then took her out there to the find her. She's probably just been fish food since then. It's been like 8 weeks now. You're going down, Brian Hooker. I know. My heart, you're guilty.
I should have won my hooker shirt again this morning, shouldn't I? We have a lady with common sense in here now. She's going to not even settle this dispute because she doesn't want a part of that one, do you?
Well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Honestly,
So
I would plead the same thing without a doubt in my
The
mind.
Selling Hookers. That was their podcast. It's Brian and Lynette Hooker, and they have a sailboat. It's called Soulmate. They were out in the Bahamas. That's where they had been for a
Not
while.
called soulmate anymore.
And soulless mate.
Called missing
And
mate.
they were on their dinghy returning to their boat, which was a mile away, and in the bay where the water is calm. But he claims the water was rough. She bounced out of the dinghy. He tried to reach for her, but he didn't. It's just the whole thing is real. He killed her, Carol. He killed her. I'm telling you. He killed her.
She's waiting on an island, somewhere distant island, and for him to come pick her up after he collects the multi-million-dollar insurance plan. Carol Town, the lady about town this morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am good. How are you? I felt like I walked into a hornet's nest.
Oh, you like bees, though. That's not a problem,
I
right?
don't like hornets.
You don't like hornets?
I don't like hornets. I've been bitten by hornets.
Oh, those are nasty little critters.
Yes, they are.
Ugh.
They are.
They're okay to kill, right?
Yes.
Say, once you're bitten by something, it's okay to do whatever. It's not a big deal, right? Anyway, Carol is she's a master gardener,
Yes.
and she's a ham radio operator,
Yes.
and she really, I tell you what, if you want, and if you got any questions about your gardening issues or whatever, it's like I have from time to time, and just ask her. And but today we're talking about little slimy things. They got so much slime.
They're not
on.
slimy. They are not slimy.
Creamy
Did she bring
crawler.
anything in?
No, I didn't bring anything.
I
in
already
with me.
checked when she came to the door.
That's the first thing I saw. You bring in
People
a
say
snake?
that snakes are cold and slimy. They are not.
They're cold-blooded.
Well, they're cold-blooded, but
Yeah, but that means they're cold, right?
They have those eyes that look at you like, move because I'm going to get you. I'm like,
that's because they can't blink.
blink or not.
I've seen people like that.
Yeah.
They just look at you because their eyes would not close. They wouldn't blink at you whatsoever. They just stare and stare and stare and stare and stare. And then you just wonder, are they alive?
Yeah.
I just did that.
You know, I'm going to spend the rest of the day now. Anytime anything slightly moves around me, a fly goes past me, I'm going to be jumping.
Snakes don't fly.
No, I mean, anything that just passes my peripheral vision, I'm going to be jumping now. Stop. No. All right. Snakes.
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 They are, I mean, a lot of people get bitten by snakes every year. But we got 325 million people in this country.
There is, and on the average, 7,000 to 8,000 people a year in the U.S. are bitten by a venomous snake.
Now, 7,000 to 8,000 out of 325 million. I was sticking into my calculator thing over here. That's going to come up almost nothing
Almost nothing.
percentage-wise.
And out of those 7,000 to 8,000 annually, only 5 people die from their bites. So it is not as fatal as people say.
No.
You don't get bit and immediately fall down and die.
No. They're,
I would.
they're
Heart attack.
Tell me about this coral snake for just a second, because the word was when I was growing up, you bit by a coral snake, you got 2 minutes or whatever.
No.
You did, man, walking.
That was that's the black mamba, which is in Africa, so you don't have to worry about it here. Coral snake is one. It's not even found in this part of North Carolina. They have moved south. They're towards the Wilmington area and farther
Close
south.
enough.
Well, but they're also very secretive.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even see them.
Yeah.
Now,
They don't have fangs like the copperheads, the cottonmouths, the rattlesnakes that come down, inject the venom. They are just set fangs, and they have to keep biting in order to inject the venom.
so if he bites you the first time, either get away or strangle him.
Well, you get away. I mean, yeah, it's just.
But there are other snakes. So I've been told, you know how that is, and not on the internet, because I don't believe anything I see there. But there are other snakes that sort of resemble a coral snake.
You have the scarlet king snake,
That's-
which looks like
which is
it, and then
totally-
you also have the scarlet milk snake, which looks similar.
Okay.
So don't just automatically think that if you see red, yellow, and black, that it is a coral snake and it's going to bite you and you're going to die.
It does have poison, Of course.
It has venom.
venom, poison, venom, yeah, whatever. It's got stuff that can be very poisonous if it bites you, right?
Well, it is actually considered medically insignificant, just because there's treatment for it.
Yes.
The amount of venom that is injected is, it has to be taken into account.
Sure.
But in North Carolina, all of North Carolina, there have been no deaths reported from the coral snake or any other venomous snake. So
Since when?
I think in 2022 or 2023, there was possibly a death from a cottonmouth, but it's not. It is never confirmed.
Okay.
So it has been a while since there has been a death from a venomous snake.
One used to be that please be able to identify that snake when you go to the hospital. If you think if you've been bitten, please
No.
kill the snake and take the snake's body with you to the hospital. You don't have to do that.
No, they have two different types of anti-venoms
Mhm.
that treat, and they do blood work. They look to see if you're actually suffering from any of the effects of the venom, because the anti-venom can be can have issues also.
Mhm.
So they don't want to just automatically treat with an anti-venom. But you have to remember, in North Carolina, there are 38 different species of snakes, and of those, only 6 are venomous.
Mhm.
Right.
And of those 6, 5 of those are protected.
That's what gets me.
Well,
We got to protect a snake,
well,
not kill it.
because they are beneficial to the environment.
Mhm.
They take care of rodents.
Mhm.
A lot of them will eat amphibians. You know, imagine the plague of the locusts or the frogs. We would have the plague of the frogs if it wasn't for a lot of these snakes.
Mhm.
Some of the snakes, like the copperhead in particular, the venom has been showing promise in treating different types of breast cancer.
Really?
Oh.
So, and then imagine with the
Copperhead.
farmers and stuff, if we didn't have these snakes to control the rats and the mice, that they would be and some of the insects too. They would be destroying the crops. They would be destroying the grains in the barns and all that. So snakes are beneficial in many, many ways.
There are like 30, we call them good snakes and bad snakes. Venomous snakes, non-venomous snakes.
Right.
There are about 30 non-venomous snakes, as I understand, in North Carolina.
30 to 32,
Okay,
about
somewhere
32
along that.
non-venomous.
Some of those, unfortunately, we just talked about the coral snake, but some of the others kind of look at a distance like, for instance, like a copperhead. Unless you kind of know copperheads.
Well, there's one way, because people will look at water snakes
Yes.
and say
It's a water moccasin.
it's a water moccasin or it's a copperhead. I mean, a lot of people, the first thing they do, they see a snake and they say copperhead.
Sure.
Copperheads got that name for one reason,
Right.
is they have the copper colored head.
Right.
The other thing is the cottonmouth and the copperhead have got what's called Hershey's Kisses. The dark part, it's narrow at the top, wide at the bottom.
Mhm.
The water snakes have got tornadoes. They're wide at the top, narrow at the bottom, and they also have lines. They're called labial lines on their mouth that go vertically. And the copperheads don't have that. Now, one thing that a lot of people, they look at the shape of the head
Mhm.
and they said, oh, it's triangular shape, it's
Oh,
venomous.
yeah. Well,
You can't go by
That's
that
the old
because
school thing,
a
yeah.
lot of snakes will flatten their heads out
Right.
and make it look triangular. So you can't go by that.
they're
Some
little
people
sneaky
say,
snakes.
look at
Ugh.
the pupils. If they're slits like cat's eyes,
Right.
they're venomous. If they're
You're too
round,
close.
they're harmless. Well, that doesn't work because you have to figure out what the brightness of the light is.
There you go.
If the light is dim, the pupils are going to be round. So,
we have a caller. He's on the West Coast. They don't have snakes out there, right, Charlie?
oh yes, they do.
Charlie,
No, I wanted to talk to the snake lady.
she's the snake lady. Her name is Carol.
But she seems to be an expert about snakes,
She
correct?
is, definitely.
So I was wondering if she could explain this to me. When I was a child, I grew up in a very dysfunctional family, and I was staying at a babysitter's home, and I was given medication because I was diagnosed as having, I guess, ADD or whatever, and I was given an overdose of medication. When I was given this overdose of medication, I was sleeping, but then when I awoke, I was staring at this light bulb above me, and all of a sudden all these snakes started coming out from this light bulb. And hundreds and thousands of snakes covered my body. True story. Thousands of snakes covered my body. I was rushed to the ER, and I was, I guess, put in some sort of coma. And it was a horrible situation. And why was that? Why did I experience all these snakes?
Because you were given an overdose of medication.
Yeah, it was it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst childhood experiences I've ever had. Snakes everywhere.
Charlie, have you ever, you know about Ambien, right? Makes you go to sleep. No, I'm serious now
Right,
for just
no.
a second because I'm going to
It
sympathize
also
with
makes you hallucinate.
Yeah, it will make you hallucinate. Ambien will make you hallucinate because I took it one time. The doctor gave it to me and said, you're not sleeping. You need to take this. I did. I had worms crawling out of my head, Charlie. You understand that?
Are you serious?
Yes. I mean, my head, my thoughts when I was semi-awake, I had worms crawling out of my head.
Yeah, I've never. So it was a whole experience, correct?
It's a whole experience of nothingness, but in my world, it was very real.
Yeah, it's one of the my worst childhood experiences. And I remember going to the hospital, and I was in a car, and they put the seatbelt around me, and that was a snake. When I got to the hospital, they took a syringe and needle, and I guess they did something, they injected something. That was a snake. Yes, I'm not a fan of snakes. And this lady talking about snakes, she seems to love snakes. She seems to have like this fondness for snakes.
I do, and I give talks, and I've talked to scouting groups, 4-H groups, school
People that are going to encounter
classrooms,
Right.
because I want people to respect snakes. I want them to understand snakes and not be afraid and not kill every snake that they see or think that every snake they see is venomous. And the only way to do that is to go around and educate the people about snakes, which is what I'm going to be doing next week and the week after. I'm going to the Richlands Library on the 18th of June at 2 p.m. I'm going to be doing a talk on the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a really good PowerPoint, and I'm also going to be taking a live snake with me. And on the 22nd at 4:30 at the Jacksonville Library, I'm going to be giving the same talk to snakes. Now, I used to do in California, I used to take snakes. I lived on Edwards Air Force Base. I knew the people with the survival school and the security police, and I would actually take venomous snakes with me into the classrooms, but they were in locked plexiglass cages. There's no way the snakes could have gotten out, no way the kids could have gotten to the snakes, but it was important for them to know what to do if they heard a rattlesnake rattle while they
And
were
what it
out in the
sounds like,
desert,
yes.
what it sounds like, and then what to do. So I would take timber rattlesnakes, I would take Mojave green rattlesnakes, which are one of the most deadly rattlesnakes in the U.S. because of the type of venom that they have. But by educating people on what the snakes look like, what their habitat is, what their behaviors are, and what to do if you see them, is going to help save the snake population, which is very vitally important for the environment. So yes, I do like snakes. I have a lot of respect for snakes.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
First of all, you're a fascinating human being. Who has a fondness for snakes? I've never met anyone.
A lot of people do. A lot of people do.
Oh yeah, I've run into a lot of them that have them as pets.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like anti-snake. I'm just telling you, I had a horrible experience. I'm sure they're lovely critters. I just think it's bizarre that you guys have someone on your podcast. No. I mean, it's just odd to meet someone that is like, hey, I'm a protector of snakes. I'm here for the snake. I like the snake.
Yeah.
No, I think, well, how come you don't have a snake with you right now? I would think you would have like a snake around your neck.
Well,
because
well, I've done that before. I used to have, when I lived in Oklahoma, I had 2 ball pythons. I just acquired a Mexican king snake, but I was politely asked to not bring it today. And I will have it at my talks when I do that, because I think it's important for people to actually touch snakes and realize that they're not slimy, that they're not going to go after you.
I respect that. You guys ever, you know how sometimes when you're like at the grocery store, like at Target, every once in a while, every 10,000 years, you'll see someone with like a parrot on their shoulder.
Yeah.
You'll see some like weird, you'll see a weird character with like an odd bird on their shoulder. But I have yet to see anyone with a snake.
Oh, I have.
them.
I have. I've seen people out in public with a snake. I've seen people out in public with a iguana. or a bearded dragon. So yeah,
So where did your love for snakes originate from? Like, as a child?
I grew up being outdoors, being camping. My dad instilled the respect for nature in me, and snakes just to me are fascinating and very misunderstood.
No, I agree. No, I'm just saying, those little bastards afterwards my mind when I was doing a drug overdose. No, I'm fine with them. I'm sure they're good people. Anyway, listen.
All right, thank you, Charlie.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Carol,
He's from LA. He lives in LA.
Yeah.
I came across one in my mulch right up against my house. I moved a big rock, and it was a baby, and it was probably 9 inches long, and it was a caramel color, and his eyes were little slits. Yes.
It was. I'd almost guarantee you.
The eyes were slits.
Right.
Beautiful eyes,
Yeah.
though. But it was looking at me.
I'd almost guarantee you that it's called a DK brown snake. It eats slugs and snails, and what you found was actually a full-grown snake.
You need about 40 of them.
I just cover. I said, "Here's your rock back. Do what you need to do."
Those types are called fossorial snakes. They live in the ground, under mulch, under rocks. You will find them, but they eat soft-bodied. They'll eat slugs, snails.
Well, this was a beautiful. I mean, he was, and it had, like I said, little slits for eyes with the black pupils.
Yeah,
and you could see him just looking. His eyes were moving, and I'm like, "Hey, okay, sorry to disturb
Yep,
you."
he's just helping take care of some of the pests in your garden. So
carry on.
That's the reason you were without moles for a while, because the moles, you ran off all the slugs.
I put more stuff down.
Get your snakes and I'll leave the slugs and the moles
Those
will go
little
somewhere
rats.
else.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna plant dynamite next.
Mm.
But I run them to the neighbors. They run them back. So we'll just go back and forth.
Okay, now snakes, let's talk about the beneficial parts of snakes, because that's what people need to understand too. Yeah, your gardens, the farmers, of course, I know that they eat stuff, because I've been in feed barns where the rats would come into the feed barns, and up on overhead you see this snake crawling right along there. On a beam overhead. How did they get there?
that was almost 99.9% sure that was a rat snake.
That's what I thought.
If you have to ask, how did the snake get there? More than likely it's a rat snake.
Okay.
They
Now,
are excellent climbers.
About 3 years ago, went to the Greensboro area. My nephew, they were little kid nephews, they were in one of those tournament type baseball things, where the little kids play and they bounce the ball around from mitt to mitt and miss a lot. But we're sitting there, and in the stadium, we were in the covered stadium where we were privileged, and somebody said, "There's a snake up there," and I'm looking up. You're absolutely right. He was crawling 15 feet off the deck, off the ground.
Yeah.
He was crawling overhead.
Yeah.
Crawling along this beam, and people, was anybody watching what's going on out there?
Oh,
no, they were all watching.
They're afraid it's going to fall down.
And everybody was up there saying, "It's going to fall. It's going to fall. Watch it fall. It's going. Watch out and get ready to run."
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. So the beneficial, like I said, they help control a lot of the pests.
Mm-hmm.
They keep the balance, the ecological balance out in nature. They not only do they feed on different things, but they feed other things: owls, foxes, coyotes.
They feed other things.
Right, because
they're the providers.
They are the food for owls and stuff.
If they don't do their job, they get eaten.
Well, even if they are doing their job, they can get eaten.
Okay.
So they are part of the food web.
Okay.
So you have to look at that.
We're all part of the food chain.
No, we're part of the food web. It's been changed to the food web, and I teach that to the third graders with growing minds.
I try to stay at the top of this food web or chain.
We are pretty close to alpha, but not always.
Well, according to the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission, I need to get some mole king snakes from my yard.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Go eat the moles.
Those are actually protected because you don't see many of those.
Wow.
There's a You can go on North Carolina Wildlife. You can go to North Carolina State University that
Right.
has information about snakes. There's a good resource on Facebook. It's called Eastern North Carolina Snake Identification. That is a good one to learn about the different types of snakes in the area. Or if you find one, you can take a picture of it and you want to know what it is, you send it to them, and
I'll call.
and we can identify it, because I identify quite a few snakes on that site also. There's also a really, I think, important one that people need to join on Facebook, and it's called the National Snakebite Support Group.
Yes, that's what we really want to talk about.
Well, if you get bit, like I said, of 7,000 to 8,000 people that get bit, 5 die. There are treatments, but the way of treating has changed over the years from what everybody has been taught. You don't put a tourniquet on it. You don't put ice on it. You don't have it lower than the heart. You actually want to have it above the heart. Most of the damage that is done is tissue damage from swelling from the venom, and not from the venom itself. So,
Well, don't you put ice on swelling to?
well, and not with this. You actually want the body to help. It will actually help take care of the swelling, plus
Okay.
with supportive care. But a lot of doctors aren't specifically trained for treating snake bite, where these doctors, if you get bit, you can go on and say, I was bit by such and such, and this is where I am. They will actually talk to the doctors that are treating you.
You got a card to carry with you?
No, it just you can go on this. I think they have a number for the doctors to call that are on there, but you can't just go on there and ask. Well, you can ask some questions, but you can't go on there and comment on other people's posts, because they don't want answers and
Right.
everything hidden in all these long posts, long comments. But there's so many different, and they do have the algorithms listed on that site. So it's interesting to go and look to see how snake bites are now treated, because it's not, and you do not cut the snake, where you were bitten,
No
and
slice and dice and suck
try
the
to
blood
suck
out.
out the
Suck it
venom.
out, spit it out.
You actually do more damage to the person who was bitten, and
Really?
we had that happen in Oklahoma. Some good old boy decided that his girlfriend had gotten bitten by a rattlesnake, so he did the cowboy thing of cut it and suck the venom out. She was fine. He ended up in the venom went almost directly into the bloodstream
Oh,
through the
I bet it
mouth.
did.
Wow.
So you do not do that.
It's like swallowing poison, people,
Wow.
or gargling with poison. If you got it in, you don't want to do that.
No.
That never made sense to me. And they used to teach that in Boy Scouts, by the way.
Yeah, I know. They don't do that anymore.
There's some interesting information on that
There was a
site.
snake bite kit. I've just thought about that because
No,
they used to sell a snake
Yes,
bite
they
kit
did.
that had basically a sharp razor blade
Yes.
attached to some kind of plastic deal. Oh God, that just brings back terrible memories.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
somebody gonna cut me with that thing.
I like this, going back to talking about, do you have to capture the snake if you get bitten by
No.
one? And it says on this, you should not bring the snake,
No.
dead or alive, to the hospital if you have been
You
bitten.
might clear the emergency room if you bring it.
Yeah.
Well, what people don't realize is that the nervous system on a snake can still be active even after they're dead. It takes a while for that to, quit firing. And you can actually get, even if you cut the head off of a venomous snake and pick it up, you can still get bit and get
Yeah, so
envenomated.
this guy almost died after getting bitten by a dead rattlesnake.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
the 12 gauge is for. You don't have a head left. I'm
No,
kidding.
you just throw that venom all over everything.
No,
No.
it's
One of the snakes here in eastern North Carolina, and I have not seen but 2 of them in my entire life, and that's been a long time. These were these big, round rattlesnakes.
you're probably talking about the Eastern Diamondback,
That's
which
the
is the
one.
biggest.
That's the one. They're
Yeah.
short. No, he's 5 feet long, but
Yeah.
that's short for that body size. But he looks like a log.
Yes. Yeah. And then that's one of their defenses is to camouflage. North Carolina has got the highest bite rate in the U.S.
Of all snakes?
Of all snakes.
Really?
And
Why?
90% of those bites are copperheads. And that is because the
90%
copperhead
of the
is,
snakes are copperheads.
well, it is,
They hide.
they are found throughout the whole state.
Mm-hmm.
They camouflage extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is to freeze and try to blend in with the environment. People get bit because they're picking up leaves and they don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
They're walking through the leaves with open-toed shoes. They step on it. The snake bites. They're picking up logs or moving logs, and the snake's in there.
Mm-hmm.
It is very possible for a snake to give what's called a dry bite, where they don't either they don't inject venom or they inject very little, because they're just trying to say, leave me alone. I'm here, just get away from me. So it's a defensive thing. They don't want to use the venom on us because they can't eat us. I mean, it's just, and the other interesting thing with all the people in the U.S. who are bitten, 28% of those are from people who are intoxicated. So it's like, here, hold my beer and watch this.
They're playing with snakes.
Right.
What about this percentage of people who are bitten who are being subjected in some of these weird religious events?
Well, I don't even go into that. I don't go into
Those are
that
the crazies.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes are beneficial. They're good for the environment. They're good for the agriculture. They're showing promise in medicine. So we need to learn to respect them. We need to learn to live with them. We need to learn what to do to make your area not quite so attractive to snakes.
North Carolina Wildlife has a live cam on some baby owls. It's so cute, and it tells a story on them. Yeah, it's live.
Yeah.
I just shared the link.
But we need to learn to live with the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want them around your house, I have a neighbor that was having a problem with copperheads coming up close to the house. And finally I looked at them and I said, you keep your back porch lights on all night long. The lights attract the bugs. The bugs attract the frogs. The frogs attract the snakes. So you need to think about what your environment looks like, and are you attracting the snakes to your environment? Keep your grass mowed. The logs, either move them away from the house or have them elevated.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different ways of taking care of them.
Right.
Snake repellents do not work. The cinnamon, clove oil things, the only way those might work is because they may keep the mice and rats away, which would keep the snakes away. Mothballs. A lot of people put mothballs out. Mothballs do not work. They are toxic to kids, to pets, to wildlife. And in most states, they are illegal to put out.
What does work? Is there any because call us if you got a snake problem, call us if you got insects, call us if you got this. We can treat it all.
No, there's nothing you can do. There's no chemical that's going to keep snakes away. It's just getting rid of their hiding places, getting rid of their food source.
Okay.
That is what keeps the snakes away. Now, if you have a snake near your house and you don't want it there, either I am listed on the snake relocation website or site on Facebook for Onslow County. I can move any non-venomous snakes, and I can move cottonmouths and copperheads. I cannot move rattlesnakes because you have to have special permits, and there's all kinds of hoops you have to jump through to get that permit.
Is that all rattlesnakes?
Yes, in this area.
Any variety of rattlesnake in North Carolina?
Yes.
Don't mess with them.
Don't mess with them, and if you do mess with them, don't post it on Facebook.
Yeah.
So, but
come get you.
And this is time of year you may see more copperheads trying to climb trees. because their favorite food is now out.
Birds. Oh, else?
Cicadas.
Okay.
Oh,
They love
no.
cicadas.
Okay.
So
Use
they,
owls?
no, copperheads.
No, you said copperheads like to climb trees to go after what?
Cicadas.
Oh, so they can get all they want of those things. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, copperheads love
Mm-mm.
cicadas. So if you see them on a tree, they're trying to get up to that noisy thing.
Yeah, they are loud.
Yeah, they are.
But if you want to know more about, if you want to learn more about snakes, come to one of my talks. June 18th at
Yes.
the Richlands Library at 2 p.m. or the Jacksonville Library June 22nd at 4:30 p.m.
Got it.
I'm going to call the Swansboro Library and see if I can't get a date there also, cover the county.
Mhm.
If one of your groups and is interested in having me come talk about snakes, I'd be more than happy to. One way you can get hold of me is contacting the extension office. Emily Morrison has got my phone number. She can help you get in touch with me. Go on Facebook under Carroll Town. You can find me there, or you can find me on the snake relocation on Facebook for Onslow County. So there's many ways of getting hold of me, and I'd be more than happy to come to any group, any scouting group or anything, and do a talk on snakes.
Okay. In eastern North Carolina, this side of I-95, I think is the way everybody likes to talk about it. We've got lots of copperheads. That's one of the most prominent
Yes.
snakes that people are going to encounter.
Yes.
There are lots of other snakes here, in some of the swamps and all that sort of good stuff. Not every snake in the water that you see swimming around is a cottonmouth or a water moccasin or whatever you want to call, however you want to call them. But there are a lot of water snakes,
Oh, yes.
and they can be very big. I've seen them.
Oh, yes.
They can be very big. But the water moccasins, we don't encounter them too much. And water moccasins, I've heard, this guy at White Lake, I'll never forget the story, fell into a nest. He was water skiing and fell into a nest in the water of baby water moccasins. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That is something you'll hear quite often.
Anybody ever being bitten by a water moccasin in the water?
Yeah. They can bite in the water. Yeah. They
Well,
can bite in the
They
water.
go after critters in the water. I know
But-
that.
But if you scare a cottonmouth, if you come up on it, what you're gonna see is either it'll keep its body straight or it's gonna coil up, but it's gonna throw its head back and open up its mouth.
And you'll see
And
that
you'll
cottonmouth.
see that cottonmouth. And what it's doing is that's its warning, kind of like a rattlesnake rattles. That's its warning saying, leave me alone.
You're next.
I'm right here. I don't want to bite you. Go away.
Mhm.
One other myth is that cottonmouths will chase you. No, they will not chase after you. A lot of times they're trying to get to their safe spot, and you might just happen to be in the way. There's lots and lots of videos that showing people having cottonmouth crawl between their legs or over their feet, and not once did they ever try to bite the person because there was no threat.
Stand still.
Yeah, just stand still and admire it. Poor Leah's.
She's going to be shaking herself to death.
Just moving the little apron here so I can see my feet.
Okay. It's coming up. So you got several events, and that's good.
Yes.
We got it posted.
Yes, I have it
So
posted.
if you want to know where it is, what days and all that, go to our Facebook page. You'll find
Right.
out very quickly.
Yes.
Carol, we're going to take a quick break and do a quick weather forecast, about a
Right.
minute long. And then you've been volunteered by some dude, you know him pretty well, to talk about something else this morning.
Yes.
Okay, so stand by for that. The marine forecast does not involve anything to do with snakes and sharks. Well, it might have something to do with sharks if you're out there, but they're not going to hurt you either. The marine forecast for the next couple of days is calling for improving boating conditions. That's good. We'll see the development of southerly flow of air here shortly, and I'm looking at it today, tomorrow, probably more tomorrow, to the late of the week as high pressure shifts offshore. Out to 60 nautical miles today. Easterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 3 to 5. Wednesday, 3 to 4 footers. Winds out of the southwest. There's going to be that change overnight tonight to winds out of the south or some southerly direction. And when the winds are from the west or southwest, the fishing is best. Winds will be 5 to 10 knots. Thursday, now a little dicier. Seas are okay, 3 to 4, but the winds are going to be 15 to 20. So that's going to kind of stir things up a little bit, especially when you're trying to get through the inlets.
Okay, today partly sunny with a high near 87. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 69. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high near 89. And Thursday, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny with a high near 94. 94.
It's hot.
Here we go.
Okay, we got about 2 weeks to go, something like that, 3 weeks to go. And we've got something called nationwide, and there are people in other countries as well. There's going to be a whole lot of people with amateur radio equipment, ham radio equipment, stuff. I'm assembling junk over there, as you can see, getting it ready to go. And I spent about 3 months doing it just in case, because we take our mess and we go out some location and we set up for what is called field day. Now, Marines out here, y'all know what field day is. It's kind of the same thing, but different. We take equipment, go out in the field, and we set up and we operate from a location other than our homes to talk with people all over the world. As we concentrate on North America, primarily Canada and the United States. But we can make contacts anywhere in the world, and we get points for doing that. And for a 24-hour period of time, a whole bunch of hams from the Onslow Amateur Radio Club will be doing exactly that at the Onslow Sheriff's Office training area. They've got a training facility. It's not too far from the tax office. There will be some signs put up. If y'all want to come out and take a look-see on the 28th, we'll be out there setting up antennas early in the morning on the 27th, putting our gear together, assembling it, and we'll have 6 different transmitting stations going for a 24-hour period of time. The secretary of this wonderful club, Onslow Amateur Radio Club. You've been to a bunch of field days. You've had to participate in that on any number of occasions, right?
I've been to field days here. I've been to field days in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes.
So it's a fun time. It's a lot like going on a vacation for some of us. We get excited about going. We prep and we spend a lot of time preparing for it.
Well, there's a lot of camaraderie that goes with it.
That too.
But the main purpose of this field day is this is a training, kind of a training exercise for emergency communications for times like when hurricanes hit. Florence had knocked out quite a bit of the cell towers and things, communication.
Mm-hmm.
Other hurricanes that have come through have done the same thing. You look at Puerto Rico, they had their communications completely wiped out, and they were actually asking.
Comms were gone.
They were actually asking for ham radio operators to come down to help with communications. So that's what this is. It's an opportunity for the public to come in and see what we do, to see what the amateur radio world is like. And you can also get on the air. If you've ever wanted to get on the air, talk to somebody in another state, in another country, this is a good time to do that. There'll be people there that can show you how to do it, tell you all about amateur radio, what it's about, tell you about the club, how you can join the club, and how you can get your license and you can get on the air yourself.
There will be one station set up there that's called the GOTA station, the Get on the Air station, and it's not one of the 6 that we're talking about. This is a separate station set up in the same place, and we'll have individuals who will be manning it as volunteers. So if you want to come by They'll make contact with somebody and then allow you to sit there and talk with that individual for a minute or 2 minutes at a time. And you can, ask them questions. They want to talk
Yeah.
to you.
And if you happen to know somebody or have a relative who's a ham radio operator, tell them that you're going to try to contact them at a certain time and ask them what frequency they're going to be on, and we can help you connect with them.
There you go. So there's all sorts of fun things to do when you come out. You can ask questions. You can look around. Now we've got one of our really old people there in the club. She's only been licensed for a couple of years, and she just finally turned 16 so she could get her driver's license. So she has been a licensed ham longer than she's been able to drive. That was me a long time ago, 1961. Several years before I could get my driver's license, I had my ham ticket. So, we got them from one extreme to the other in this club.
Yes, we do. We do. And and this is something for every age. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, anything like that. I mean, it's fun to do. It's fun to contact. My better half has been a ham radio operator for, I think, close to 30 years now. And he has, I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he's got close to, I know he's got close to like 83,000 contacts.
Wow.
So, and he does a lot of digital. So if you don't want to talk on the radio, there's other ways of contacting people.
There used to be I will give you 4 basic ways. There was the old AM, not old. There's the AM radio, which you guys are familiar with, AM broadcaster stations. It was the same type of thing, except it was on ham radio frequencies. There was FM. Not a lot in the beginning, but there was FM radio. People transmitted on FM. There were people then that suddenly got into I can talk to people on this other brand new thing called single sideband, which has got its major pluses over AM. And then there was CW, Morse code.
Yes.
There are some diehard people out there that they don't want the voice. They prefer the really coolness of operating a Morse code key and actually having communications with people. I started out that way, as a whole lot of people did in my era as a novice.
Well, before you had to know CW.
You had to know CW. You had to know Morse code.
And you don't have to anymore.
Nope. But there are still people who love to do it. And I'll never forget my dad. And he said, "How do you know that's what they're saying?" I said, "Because I've learned this.
Yeah.
I learned what all of these things are." So he would sit there and watch me write down stuff as I'm getting information from other people. He said, "Now that is really kind of neat."
Yeah.
I think he would have done it, but he just didn't want to devote the time to it. But those are some of the primary things that we do. Today, the digital world is a whole new world. You got to use a computer. You got to do this. But those are some of the more advanced ways people like to communicate.
Yes.
And it's good.
And some people say that's not real radio because you're not talking to somebody, but you still have to, even though you're using a computer partway through, you're still relying on your antenna. You're still relying on the radio waves going.
Yep.
It is not, I got internet.
Nope,
no, it's not internet.
This is when internet fails. This is when the power fails. This is when all cell phones die. Because let me explain to you very quickly let me tell you a little bit about cell phones and cell towers. And I've been involved in those issues when they happen. Cell towers at one time they had batteries there as backup. Then they figured out those batteries lasted 12 hours when the cell tower power went out. Well, the 3 days without power, and then there's 2.5 days with no cell, right? Period. So they put little generators in. Little generators come on automatically. They got so much gas there, but they burn gas.
Yeah.
If you don't go around and fill up, look around you and all the cell towers in Onslow County alone. You're going to have somebody supplying gas to all of those cell towers. You can't store it there because it will go bad
Yes.
in the amount of time. So they got to constantly go around and fresh, and cell towers are going to go down. You're going to be without cell coverage.
Yeah.
And that's just a fact of life. And what else you going to do? You did. You don't have any communication.
Right.
Sorry. If you got a carrier pigeon that knows a direction, you might be able to do that. But that's it. So ham radio is the way that we communicate with each other throughout the county. Now, that's just not everybody's got it, so that's okay. But what the Ham Club does here, in conjunction with both, with the Onslow Emergency Operations Center and all of the services, first time there's an emergency and they open the shelters for during a hurricane, that's when our primary times, we have a ham at every shelter.
Right.
Because when the cell towers go dead, they don't have any way to communicate with anyone.
Right. And so we can get back to the emergency services saying we have somebody who's sick. We
Yep.
have, oh my gosh, a pregnant lady just went into labor.
Good luck. No, but we can get that information from anywhere in the county back to the Emergency Operations
Right.
Center. And we have stations at both Emergency Operations Center, the big county operations. We have a radio station at the police department, Jacksonville PD,
Yes.
at their operations center. They have a separate one. And the sheriff says, if something happens, can we set up one down here real quick, like near my office? Yeah, we can make that
Yeah.
happen.
And there's one at the fire station on Marine Boulevard.
And
So-
so we have stuff available.
Yeah.
We can do it.
And one other thing about ham radio that people don't realize is I think they've gotten better at it, but a lot of the emergency services, the sheriff, when Spatial Columbia unfortunately came apart in the atmosphere, one of our members, who happened to be my husband, was on the search and recovery team.
Really.
He went down there. So you had the FBI, you had NASA, you had Department of Transportation, you had the State Patrol, you had the local sheriff's office, you had the fire departments. Everybody was there. They couldn't talk to each other on their
That's
own
the
radios.
problem.
So they finally just realized that they needed to utilize the ham radio operators. Each one went with a
With a team.
team,
That's it.
and it would call back to the command post. So if they didn't have that, the agencies could not talk to each other.
It's a little bit like Secret Service, as they learned up in Pennsylvania with the assassination attempt on a candidate
Yes.
named Trump. They had problems talking with the law enforcement with everybody at the
Yes.
same time. It's possible they're supposed to have it operational, but something went awry. That's how bad and how critical communications will be in
Yes.
an emergency.
Yes.
If you can't communicate, you're pretty much dead in the water. You're on your own. You're alone.
Sure.
To my left there, she did not have a ham license. And there was a little thing called Helene. You remember your girlfriend, Helene? You were up in the mountains of North Carolina, out of the range of hurricanes. And then this one comes up inside North and up into,
It was unusual.
and then
as
you
it
got there
was.
all by yourself and no
Stuck up a mountain.
communications.
Even on Star wouldn't work. So
Yeah.
nothing.
And people look at ham radio, they go, well, you have to have power. Yeah, you do. We have batteries
Right.
that charge on solar power.
Yep.
So, we have our own power source. So as long as the sun is still shining, we're going to have power.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be direct sun. It can be bright. It can.
Yeah,
it
be
just,
bright.
You just don't have as much power being generated.
Right.
But you can charge up batteries, which will last you all day, all night, whatever.
Yeah.
And we have backups. And then here, for instance, at this location, I got comms with everybody, and I've got a 24,000 watt generator that runs right out the door here. It comes on automatically and stays there until the power comes back on.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem, I'm still kicking.
Yeah.
But then I have battery backup for some of the short range stuff.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah. So we're set for emergencies, for emergency communication.
Yeah.
So,
So-
come learn about it.
If you want to see it, come on out to the
Yeah.
sheriff's training range and
It's
location.
easy to find if you don't know where it is. Go up Richlands Highway like you're heading towards Richlands from Jacksonville at Northwest Corridor Boulevard, which is where you would turn right to go to pay your taxes at the
Mhm.
county building.
Yeah.
The second road to your left, you want to take that, go to the end, turn right, and then you will find us.
Yeah, there'll be signs out there
And
too.
we have signs that will be put up. I have a new 4-foot one, by the way.
Yes,
Oh, good.
I forgot a big
This
one.
this long one to go out in the main road.
Yeah.
So
Right.
then we got the signs all
small
along the
ones.
route to tell you where to turn. So just pay attention to it. You can't miss
All
it.
right, you brought it up as far as emergency communications. Like, say, we did have a hurricane, and the 911 system went down, and the club will be putting someone with their radio in every shelter
Yes.
in order to communicate and keep
Right.
communications
Let
up.
them know when the shelters are full.
That's right, or if there was an emergency at the
Right.
shelter, etc. So
Plus, we would have somebody at like the fire station,
Right.
the sheriff's office, EOC,
Yep.
to get those messages.
right. Yeah, it's a good backup plan because, like, when Florence did strike a couple years ago, Onslow County was doing emergency communications for other counties out towards the west
Mhm.
that had no communication, and so Onslow County took that over. But what if our own county was down?
Well, and there are some backups
That's
to that.
right,
Like
yes.
Camp Lejeune's got a system, and
Mhm.
calls will be routed. And we're talking about calls being routed by telephone.
Right.
When there's no telephones,
Yeah.
if you're in a county and you can't talk to anybody in your telephone because your telephone, no, I can't get out of here. What do you do now? Hope you know a ham and he's close by. That's the
Right.
best thing. Best thing if you are a ham and you're able to do that. So, and we take in people that are not ham radio operators. We help them, and some of the people will become friends. They will become people that will become teachers. Help teach somebody,
Yes.
put them on the right course and how to get their ticket.
Yeah. And those are called Elmers.
Those are Elmers.
Those are Elmers that will help.
They're kind of like our big buddies and
Yes.
whatever. So, and what's cool about the family that the young lady Zoe that I was talking about, she's 16 now, and her family, her mother and her daddy,
And her brother.
are all hams.
Yes.
So I mean, it's like wow,
Yeah.
She's a smart child.
she's
Yeah.
a smart child.
She's awesome.
She is very smart.
So you can do it, and there's just you can do things, and if you know other hams, especially if you're a kid and you know other ham in school, you can use certain codes.
Yes.
few codes, and people will say, "What'd you just call me?"
Nothing. And it's not as people are looking at expense too, and
No.
there's ways of getting into it that are not expensive.
Yeah, you can get into it from $35 up.
Yes. So it's just depending on what you want to do and how deep you want to get into it.
And there's nothing like being in here, and when Lee walks in the door one morning, conditions are right because I usually spin the dial early in the morning too.
Yeah.
On one of my radios, and I'm sitting there talking to a dude in Australia when she walks through the door.
Yeah.
She kind of got into that, and then one night before I went to bed, I couldn't sleep, so I came down, spun the dial. I'm talking about
Which I was not here. Let's make
No,
that
hold on that one. About 3 weeks ago, I'm talking to a guy in New Caledonia. Now, where is that? That's off the northeast coast of Venezuela. I've said that twice now. Australia. It's northeast of Australia, some miles out there.
Yeah. And then you get goals. Like I think Dale has finally every country in South America.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think he finally got the last one that he needed. So you have goals of like, can I get every country
Works all states, worked 100 countries in a certain place, worked all Europe, worked all this, worked all that. There's great goals out there.
Yes.
If you want to do that.
Yeah.
I haven't sought that. In fact, I found out the other day I'm missing 3 states that haven't confirmed that I talked to them. I can't imagine that.
Gee, it's one of those Rhode Island,
No, Delaware.
Delaware.
Because we obviously, we know who's there, and he's put out the word nobody to talk to me.
Well,
Iowa, the other one. Iowa, really? I know I've talked to people there,
Yeah.
but they haven't confirmed that they
Yeah.
talked with me. It has to be a two-way street.
Yes.
So, but I got 130 countries that have confirmed. And that's not all of them. There are a lot more.
Yes, there are.
There's at least that many more to go.
Yeah.
I've talked to countries in the past that are no longer countries.
what happened, John?
They changed names.
They changed names or they split.
You're talking about the countries?
Yeah.
Yeah, the countries.
The countries changed names?
Yes.
Absolutely. They dissolve and become something else. A complete regime change and everything else. You never know what happens when we get through with Tehran.
You used to have the USSR, which
Yeah.
encompassed a whole
Yes,
bunch.
right.
And after the fall of the Soviet Union, now you hit all these other
You got
states that came
yeah,
into
Yeah. What is funny since the current war is to be talking with Ukraine, and then 10 minutes later, I'm talking to Russia.
Yes.
Those guys are not allowed to talk to each other.
right.
That is
right.
so fun. I can relay for them, I guess, but they're not. Their governments don't allow them to talk to each other.
We can also, with our club, being a ham radio operator, there are certain times that you can actually talk to the space station,
Yes.
to the guys and the ladies in the space
They have
station.
schedules they set up on
That's
certain
right.
frequencies, and if you got the right
that's
gear, which
cool.
is not expensive. I mean, you could, because it's only a couple hundred miles up there. It's not like you're talking to the moon, 240,000
Right, right.
miles. You could talk on 5 watts up there to the
Well,
space station.
Well, you're talking about the moon. You can actually
Bounce
do
it off.
an Earth
Yep.
contact where you bounce off the moon.
That used to be a
So-
big deal.
When we recently
Moon
had
bats.
those that were leaving the station and exchanging for new ones to arrive,
Yeah.
we actually sat there and listened that afternoon to
Yes,
all
we
the
did.
communication. Yeah, we could actually hear the communication. It was pretty cool. I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff you can do with ham radio. You can
Yes.
take it as far as you want. You can build as much. A whole lot of us love playing with antennas
Yeah.
Communication center over here.
as approved by my Jeep is decorated with antennas.
Mhm.
But because I'm always changing, I got one I'm getting ready to change out now. But and I will have. If you get out there early on Saturday morning, the 27th, you're going to see us with a cannon.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a cannon. We have one of the members has a cannon, and what we do is we shoot a half-pound piece of lead. It's wrapped up from this cannon, hooked to a fishing line over a pine tree limb, it may be 80 or 90 feet up in the air, and then we pull that fishing line up and pull a bigger rope up, and then we pull the antenna up.
Yeah.
So wire antenna. That's what we'll be doing that morning.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
That's
pretty neat.
cool.
Well, if you want more information, you can go to our website on Facebook.
Put it on there.
We have the Facebook. We do have a website. If you want to learn more about amateur radio, you can go to the ARRL.org, American Radio Relay League. That has a lot of information about ham radio. We'd love to see you out there, and we'd love to have you come
Absolutely.
join us, become a ham.
Absolutely. And the
That's
Onslow Amateur Radio Club is a website and also Facebook page and all
Yes.
sorts of cool
Mhm.
stuff out there. And it's a lot of fun to be able to talk to people anywhere.
All right.
Yeah.
And I've got some cards over there with 4-cent stamps on them. That's how long I've been doing this.
And we do community service things too, like we help with communications with the Veterans Day Parade, the Christmas
we do.
Parade.
Send out
The
the
police
bus
are
stop.
out there, but they can't be watching everything. So
Right.
we help with being some of the eyes,
A lot of races. And
a lot of
stuff like
races that we help out with.
Runs.
So it's not just sitting at it behind a desk talking on the radio. We actually get out in the community and we help out.
Now, they call this amateur radio. It is a misnomer. Let me tell you why. Because I can talk to you from both sides of this whole thing. I also have an engineer's license. I am a licensed engineer. I built an AM radio station here in Jacksonville way back when, 1968, put it on the air. I've been a chief engineer in radio. I was an engineer in television. And I did all of that stuff on the professional side. There's nothing amateur about amateur radio operators, except they don't get paid for it.
Right.
There are so many licensed chief engineers for radios and TV stations that are ham radio operators. And those are the guys that can, when everything else fails on the broadcast side, they can't get stuff done the official way, when make it happen.
Yes. Yes.
Make it happen one way or the other.
That's right. Real quick, I want to just let everybody know, because we're at the end right here, but at 2 p.m. today, you can go online, and I put the links on here, and watch the North Carolina House talk about the property tax reappraisal moratorium. I think they're supposed to make a decision today on that, whether or not Onslow is still included or that we've been taken out. I have no clue. But anyway, 2 o'clock today, just go to ncga.org, and that'll take you to it. But the links are on here. I'm going to watch it live today because I want to see. And y'all better not put it off. We need it now.
I'll bet you that my phone's going to be my little inner communications that we have going here.
Right.
I'm going to be lit up
Well, the
today.
Jacksonville City Council and the Onslow County government are, they've got to do their budget. They've got to post it. They've got to finalize it.
Something. You got 2
They
weeks
need
to go.
to know
3 weeks to go.
something.
Get her done, y'all. Get her done.
Shepard and Wyatt and Carson. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Carol, thank you a million times. And did you leave that in that back over pickup truck, that device, that thing I told you to leave back there? You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Be careful when you open your trunk today.
You don't scare me.
You don't have your gun on you, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, God.
I got up this morning. They said, be on the lookout for an armed subject.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
down in my area.
put my pew pew in the,
Yeah.
You can't say GUN on YouTube anymore.
No, you can't say that.
Why?
Because they restrict you.
Yeah, they restrict you. You can't say drugs.
That's
Right.
right.
They'll restrict you. You
Well,
can't
I've
say
been screwed
dead.
today, then.
Yeah,
Would have blown that one out the window.
No, you cannot say GUN anymore. So you have to say pew pew or the thing that goes bang bang, I mean, you have to, there's so many restrictions now.
Yeah.
Nobody told me.
I've told you several times.
I didn't listen.
Well, he's a
No, you
man.
didn't. No, but yeah, I
Okay,
said,
I got to shoot them up, and I'll take care of the shoot them up issues. How's that sound? Okay.
anyway,
That's SHUTE, as in, no, that's not the
if
right
I can get
spelling.
to it in time, what I'll do is when it goes live at 2 o'clock, I will put the link on our page. You can watch it live because, we're all waiting on this to see what our property evaluations are going to be.
We're
What our
waiting tomorrow,
taxes-
too, because lines are now in the water for the Big Rock Tournament,
Yes.
day number 2, y'all. And we'll see if that 436-pounder is going to hold up and how long it will hold up.
Okay.
I think
All
it'll be probably by the end of the day, they're going to have a 500-pounder and a very rich person on their hands.
Yeah, the fabulous
Can I borrow some
fisherman.
money?
First 500-pounder is worth $853,000.
I just
Wow.
take the 53,000. Y'all can handle the rest, okay?
Sugar. And and if you're in that win all category and you bring in a 500-pound, right now you're in the
And
win
you
all.
win everything.
So, but we
gonna
still
be a
have all week to
multimillionaire.
go.
You're live on Local Real Talk, where we're awake, not woke, and we never will be. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.